Hello, hello, hello. We have another wonderful masterclass on the stage. This time around, we are joined by Kahh Spence, and Kahh is the founder and beauty expert. Kahh is going to talk us through a little bit about how Kah's found his pivot, how he's gone from being a beauty expert and a hairstylist into being a brand founder. So, if you are somebody who is looking to pivot, looking to find what their passion is and bring it to life, this is definitely a masterclass for you. Without further ado, Kahh, will you please join us on the stage? Round of applause,
Whoa!
please.
Woo! Wait, we need a little more energy than that. A little more energy than that. Okay, okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, lovely people. I am honored to be here with you guys. But before we get started, I have a quick question for you guys. How many of you feel like you've ever worked hard at something, but felt like it wasn't really the thing that you truly wanted? Raise your hands. You? Anybody else? You? Anybody else? You? That was me. I feel like I was living a life that wasn't fully the thing I wanted to do anymore. It was so glossy, it was so public, and I think it just wasn't a thing. But to get myself started, I'm Kahh Spence. As the beautiful young lady mentioned, I'm the founder of a wonderful fragrance and personal care brand, Samir Gray. But before that, I used to be a celebrity hairstylist to some wonderful clients that you might know. The lovely ladies who will be performing tonight, I have worked with them before. Yes, Cardi B, Kaylani, Lotto, Kelly Rowland, uh, the list goes on. Oh my God, the list goes on. But today, what I want to talk with you guys about is how to find your purpose in moments of stillness and really thinking about what a pivot sort of looks like if you do want to move into that next phase of life. I think from the outside looking in, I was extremely successful, but I think over time, I realized that just wasn't it. So let me take you back. Imagine this 2018, we're in I get off the airplane, JFK or LaGuardia, one of those airports. I get a call that one of the biggest rappers, female rappers, wants to work with me. And unbeknownst to me, that would be the night that would change hip hop history. I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. No? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay, good. And I think in that moment, it made me shut down for 2 seconds. It made me pause and it made me say to myself, is this really something that I want to be doing? You know, um, and it wasn't. There was so much happening, there was so much going on. And I think sometimes we get in these spaces where we're in environments where we're doing things that we may not feel inclined to want to do anymore. Like we may not want to be in these rooms, we may not want to be in these spaces. But in the beginning, it looked beautiful, it looked cool. I was traveling every other day. I was on every airplane you can think of. I was doing this red carpet. I was doing that red carpet. I was on this set. I was here. I was there. But I think on the inside, it felt like something was off. Even though this was a dream that I had dreamt since I was a little boy. Can anybody resonate with that? Like having that dream that you're like, ooh, from young, I see myself becoming a realtor, or I see myself becoming a stockbroker, or I see myself becoming a hairstylist. Any hairstylists out there? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Give it up for the hairstylist in the room. Give it up for the hairstylist in the room. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And I think through that, I realized that like the dream that I dreamt when I was a young kid, I didn't want to be doing anymore. And so I wanted to think about what that next was like because the world kept asking me, what would I be doing next? What would come after the glitz and the glam that you see? And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what would come next. Because in the midst of those moments, I experienced a lot of loss. I lost my mom during that time. I lost my dad during that time. I lost my grandmother during that time. I lost my great grandmother during that time. And all the women who really lifted me up left my life. And I think it put me in a space where I really truly didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. I honestly didn't think I even wanted to be anymore. because I felt like my sense of purpose was in them. Has anybody ever felt like someone connected to you kind of gives you your sense of purpose? Like, I think that's what it started to feel like for me. And so I sat still, I paused, and I said to myself, what would that next look like? And I knew that, like, in order for us to really slow down, we've got to start listening to our bodies, because our bodies tell us first what we need. You know, sometimes you might be on a job, you're experiencing a ton of migraines, or your hands might start cramping up, your feet might start hurting, your body may start hurting. And I think we've got to start learning to listen to those things that are happening within ourselves in order to get to the next phase of life. Has anybody ever been in a situation where at work you might have felt like, damn, my head keeps hurting every day when I go into this job. My feet are bothering me every day. My hands are cramping when I'm at my desk. My back is hurting. Has anybody felt like that? I know more of y'all guilty. I know more of y'all felt like that. Y'all a little dead this afternoon, 2 p.m. Oh, y'all lit? Oh, you lit? What you been drinking? Water. That's the thing. We need water. Hydration. We need water. Then we water. Um, but I think in that moment I realized I wanted to slow down. I'm gonna move from this slide. The next slide is not as glossy as this. This looks beautiful. We love this, right? We love this. But I wanted to slow down, so I went back to school. I know you're probably like, why the hell would you go back to school? But I think sometimes when you want to excel or grow in life, you've got to sort of take yourself out of your own box in order to really step into what the newness could look like for you. And so I slowed down. I started talking to mentors. I started asking all the questions possible. I started saying no more, going back to church, getting into therapy, getting my relationship right with God, and being bored as hell. I feel like in today's society, we don't get enough boredom. Do y'all feel like y'all get enough boredom? Like moments to do nothing. No talking, no texting, no watching anything on TV, but literally just being bored. Does anybody ever get that bored moment? Exactly. You try? Exactly. That's what we need. Those moments of just like doing nothing. I feel like the kids of today, they're not bored enough. We used to be bored as kids. And so I think I needed those moments in order to get me through what next would look like. And then I started reading more. Have you guys ever heard of this book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks? Such a phenomenal book. And so I want to talk to you guys about that. I sound like a professor. Maybe I should take that up in my life sometime. I do want to be a professor at some point. Maybe at a college one day. Wouldn't that look good? Yeah? I see you back there. Would it look good? Exactly. I know that's right. And so The Big Leap is a book that really talks about what it looks like to get over that next hurdle in your life. What it looks like to get, like if I'm standing right here on the edge, what it looks like to get down there. And I think sometimes we see how far this gap looks and think like, oh my God, if I step down, I'm gonna fall into lava, or if I step down, something's gonna go wrong. But in all actuality, it's literally just a step. I'm not gonna step because it's not that close, but it's literally just a step. And what I love about this book is something that we all can relate to having is this thing called the upper limit problem. Does anybody know what that is? So the upper limit problem is something that, like, when we're at that leap moment of getting over what we want to see as success. So whether that be the home, whether that be a moment of peace, whether that be a better relationship with God, building a family, a new job, whatever that looks like, it's really getting out of the internal hoopla and really getting over it. And I think some of us sit in that upper limit problem before getting over to our big leap, because sometimes we have this internal dialogue that tells us like, this is too far down. I can't do it. What's gonna happen if I go down? When we could literally just take a step. It's that easy. Okay, maybe it wasn't that easy, but you see what I mean? It's that easy. Just take a quick step. And so I have a few questions for you guys. Now we're gonna do some interaction with the audience. Can I get a mic? We need a mic for the audience. You need to wake y'all up. No? You guys don't want to be waking up? You want to wake up? You want to wake up. You want to wake up. I see you. And she want to drink, but she needs some water. That's what she need. We waiting for Mike, and we waiting for her to get some water. But I do have a few questions for you guys. Y'all ready for them? If money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing? Who wants to answer this first? You right here. We are getting a mic to this young lady right here. I'm gonna go back because this looks better. Makes me look good, right? Makes me look real good. Okay. If money weren't an issue, what would you be doing? We are waiting for a mic. It is coming right now. Right now. But in the meantime, do 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 do. If money weren't an issue, what would you be doing? I'm curious.
Okay, let's see. All right, I'll be traveling all over the world.
Uh huh.
That'll be my dream.
Okay. What about you? Same thing? Anybody else? If money weren't an issue, what would you be doing?
I would move to the countryside
Uh-huh.
and paint
And
and
paint?
not look for validation. So I
I
wouldn't
like
have
that.
to post it, share it. I could just paint and write for my validation.
I like that a lot. Anybody else? If money weren't an issue, what would you be doing? Go ahead, give it to me.
I love working with children,
Okay.
so I'll probably open my own daycare and have that as my investment and then travel and everything when I want to. But
Okay.
I would love to have my own daycare.
Oh, I like that. Catering to the kids. I know that's right. If money weren't an issue, what would you be doing? I know y'all trying to follow me. I am so sorry. This was not planned, but we making it work.
Love that. If money wasn't an issue, I would be on a book tour, a world
On a
book
book
tour.
tour?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love blending vocabulary words with music, and so I would be teaching people how to build their vocabulary in a very rhythmic way
Mhm.
on a book tour. So that's what I would do.
That's beautiful. And I think the one thing I'm realizing with all of these answers, thank you so much. The one thing I'm realizing, you guys' face lit up when you talked about if money wasn't an issue, what you would be doing. And I think that's something that this book sort of teaches you how to get to that point of figuring out what would it look like if I were doing something that would bring me genuine peace and genuine happiness. Because something I want us to all realize is the version of you that you might have been dreaming about 5 or 10 years ago may not be the version of you today, and that is okay. That is completely fine. I'll tell you a little joke. Everyone still references me as this young man. I am not 23 years old anymore. I know I look good. Can I see my? Oh, I can't see myself. I'm not 23. I'm 31. I don't work with any of these young ladies anymore. I am running, my publicist is probably gonna hate me. I am running an award winning beauty brand that has grossed 7 figures. I'm not this anymore, but people still reference me as this. But as long as in our heads and in our mind, we start to understand and realize that however the world might perceive you, you don't need to perceive yourself. That's all that matters. Can I get an amen? Look, turn to your neighbor and say amen. I know that's right. And so the thing that helped me get to the next hurdle of life, and we'll skip past this, launching this lovely beauty brand that I built. But the thing that moved to getting me to this next hurdle in life was really listening to my mind, listening to my body, listening to my everything that I needed, waiting to see what would it look like if I just took that big leap. And I just said, let me go for it. So you that want to travel or you that want to work with children, like what would it look like to get there or to even start the process? And it took some humbling. It was there was some very humbling moments. I think when I left the hairspace and moved on to working in fragrance, I think the world saw it as me leaving my dream and letting myself go, but I saw it as really mirroring what I saw for myself and the people that are out there, which is less about an identity, less about a role, but who do we want to become? Who do we want to be? How do we see ourselves? What do we want to look like? And I know you might see some familiar faces up there. Yes, some of my clients are lovers and fans of the I'm doing now because you just build good relationships. You see, we got Miss Cheryl Lee Ralph. Give it up for her, ladies and gentlemen. We got Kelly Rowland. Give it up for her, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, it took me becoming a beginner again. And so finding the right mentors, asking the silly questions. And there's no such thing as a silly question. I know sometimes you might have a question that might be like, what's this called? That's not a silly question. It's just a question you might have. Asking the silly questions, finding the mentors, and really building from scratch. And really ridding myself of all the ideologies that my last life or the last chapter sort of gave me. Um, and really getting to a space where I felt comfortable living in what this looked like. And so remember earlier when I asked you guys if you felt like you were working hard for something but realized you didn't want to be that anymore or you didn't want to do that anymore, has any of your answers changed? Yes? No? Maybe? So? Huh? Okay. I got a little quick exercise or some questions. Damn, they're gonna kill me. I need another mic. Exactly. Can I get another mic? Can I get a mic? And another mic is coming. But no, listen, this is the cardio. Listen to your body. We need cardio sometimes. No, but I do have some questions for you guys. I think one of the first question is, what do you feel like in your life you're avoiding because it feels too uncertain? If anybody wants to answer that, I'd love some quick volunteers. At least 3 people. Boom. Huh? You so see? Testing, testing, wow. That's crazy.
For me, it's law school,
Okay.
taking the LSAT. I took it years ago, didn't do well, and I just keep pushing the date
How
back.
come?
No excuses, just insecurity.
How can we all support you in this room right now? Because this young lady wants to take the LSAT. Give it up for this young lady, ladies and gentlemen. How do
Oh my
we
God.
support you in this moment right now to make sure you go study and take that LSAT?
I didn't hear. What did you say?
I said, how can we support you in this moment?
Just prayers
Okay.
and prayers. That's what it is. And
Okay.
the will to just focus and do what I need to do to take
Okay.
that LSAT in October.
Let's give it up for this young lady. She finna take the LSAT. We need more applause. I sound dead as hell. Um, and then I have another question. If someone else wants to answer, what if the life that you're praying for is waiting on the other side of the conversation you've been avoiding with yourself? What would that look like? Do you want me to repeat myself? What if the life you want is on the other side of the conversation you've been having with yourself? What would that look like? You said what? Well done. Can we get her mic right here? Yeah, I'm calling you out.
Oh, that's actually a really good question. I think the conversation would be something more like the conversations that I have with my friends, where it's like, "Girl, get it together."
Yeah.
Like, you have no excuse. And I think it references back maybe to your answer that there really isn't an excuse. It's just that uncertainty of doing something new. I think for me, it's like I've always looked for a lot of stability, especially like in work. I've never seen myself as an entrepreneur. I took away from the idea of being a creative because I
Yeah.
felt pigeonholed into doing other things. And so the idea of leaving the stability of like a 9 to 5 and doing something you're passionate about is like, ooh, child, I don't think the life that I want is on the other side if I'm in the poorhouse. Like
Yeah.
that's where my brain is at, but I know it's really just girl, get it together and take
Yeah.
the lead. So yeah.
And writing an actionable plan out, like writing like a 3 to 6 month plan out of what would it look like for me to set my finances up to make sure that I can live the life that I'm passionate about while still making sure my bills are paid. Because we never want to move in a direction and our money looking funny. Like, come on, who can relate? You never want to move around with your money looking funny. Can anybody relate? Oh, so we all rich. Up, we all rich. I know that's right. Yeah, give it up for this young man. Give it up for this young man. Um, no, but before I go, I do want to open the audience up for some questions. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. This young lady back here has a question. Thank you so much, beautiful young lady. The young lady right here in the black dress with the white trimming. Yes.
Hi, I guess I would just ask, like, how do you confront, like, others, who are naysayers or might not be very positive?
You said,
Like just setting up those boundaries.
how do I confront the naysayers or setting boundaries to the negativity? That's a tough one. I still deal with the naysayers and the negativity, but I think something I try to do is pray as much as possible. I fasted this week for about 3 days because I realized I wasn't as focused as I could have been. Um, but I think really talking to myself every day in the mirror. So when I wake up, affirming myself that I am enough, affirming myself that I'm capable of doing all that God sees me doing, affirming myself that the decision to sleep in bed today is fine. Like I don't need to be as productive as I was on Monday as I am on Tuesday. I can slow down for a little. So I think just slowing down, taking a deep breath, dropping your shoulders, and can I curse? Fuck them people. Oh my, there's kids in here. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, the little baby. I am so sorry. Y'all didn't hear that. Sorry. Any more questions? This young lady back here.
I just have an answer for your baby. I'm 79 years old. Ask yourself this question. What part I don't understand that they don't understand?
Hello. Say it again. Say it again.
What part they don't understand? What part I don't understand that they don't understand?
Exactly. And that's all that matters. What do I understand? Freak what they gotta say. Hello. Give it up for the young lady in the back. And we had another question right here. Oh, boom. The beautiful young lady's right here.
All right. So first, hopefully it's easy.
One more time.
First question,
Yeah.
hopefully it's easy. Do you have some of this wonderful perfume or fragrance here?
I don't have any of this fragrance with me here. No, I wish.
And I'm guessing that the fragrance space was new. Is that what you went to school for? Because one of the things like of getting started sometimes you just don't know the steps that you need to take. You may have the idea or vision, but you don't have like maybe people in your circle that can help you get to that vision. So everything is brand new. So how did you approach that if this was a new space for you?
So what she asked was, how did I approach building this business and what steps did I take? Because sometimes for many of us, we want to move into spaces, but we don't know the steps to take. I'm bold as hell. If I want something, I'm gonna get it. So if I want to become what these gentlemen and young ladies are doing back here, working cameras, operating cameras, I'm knocking on your door every single day. I emailed people every day, like literally went on Google and reached out to some of the biggest perfume houses out there. Emailed them every single day until I found the perfume house that then directed me to this person, then directed me to this person. I will say though, I did have a lot of privilege walking into it because I've been in the beauty space for about 11 years now. I know again I look real young, but I've been in this space since I was 19, so I had a lot of privilege walking in, but I still did the work. I still reached out, I still followed up, I still went to the trade shows, I still connected with as many people as possible because I knew in order for me to really excel in the space, I needed to do the work. But I think it's a matter of just reaching out to everyone around you, left, right, side to side. I call friends every day and ask them the silliest questions. Like, yo, what's one plus one? Like the silliest of silliest questions, because sometimes you really do not know. And you may feel like, oh my God, I shouldn't be asking this. I'm asking you. And even if they say no, can you introduce me to somebody that can get me there? Don't let the no turn you down. Because I know some of us let no's turn us down. Don't let the no turn you down. The no can get you to the yes. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? I'm sorry. I thought I was a preacher for 2 seconds. Any more questions? Oh, this young lady right here. Oh, wait, this young lady right here.
Okay, sorry. So, how did you get the courage to start over?
How did I get the courage to start over? Can I be honest? Can I be honest with you guys? At first, it was an ego thing. When I stopped doing hair, so many people kept asking, "What is your next?" And I kept feeling like, "Well, damn, what am I doing?" You know? And I felt like I had to rush into something. It wasn't this initially. I might have skipped a step. I started creative directing, and so I got hired by record labels to come in and help bring new artists to market and help figure out like what they look like from head to toe, what it would look like to build out their initial album packaging, music videos, all that. Hated it. But it taught me how to run a production. I was responsible for running a 30-person production. I had never done that in my life. Working with people that are older than me, I had never done no shit like that in my life. So it helped get me to that space. But it was out of ego at first. But I think the courage came from me just saying, like, I know I didn't want this anymore. So what does next look like? To your point earlier of how am I gonna make sure I eat at the end of the day? Like, how my bills gonna get paid? Because we gotta eat. We gotta eat. Oh, y'all don't gotta eat. Y'all not hungry. Any more questions? You had a question. I'm gonna get you a mic. Just because.
So I want to know when you stopped doing hair, did
Yeah.
you have to break up with your clients and you felt bad about that?
Ugh. Breaking up with the clients. Um, yes, I did. I still have great relationships with the young ladies. Um, they all hold a special place in my heart. You know, I was just with one of them that's performing tonight a few weeks ago at her concert. It was bittersweet. I still have days where I'm like, damn, I just saw Cardi on tour and I'm like, I want to be on tour again. But then I thought about it and I'm like, ooh, sleeping on a tour bus. Ooh, my feet. Ooh, cramping. It was tough breaking up with them because it feels like you're in this long relationship. Like, it was like an 8-year relationship with some of these young ladies, and we were really tight. Some of us, you know, some of us used to when we traveled like we sitting this close next to each other, and so I think it took some time for me to move through that because just like a relationship with a romantic partner, you need time to move through it. I'm still working through it. I'm a human, still working through it, but yeah. But I want to leave you with this tidbit. Never chase someone else's timeline because you are responsible for what you are doing and for your destiny. This is my time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kahh Spence. This was so beautiful hanging with you guys. I'm glad I was able to lift your spirits up this afternoon. Yes? Yes? Woo! This was great. I pray you guys have a blessed afternoon and a great Essence Festival because this going to be turned. And for the kids, make sure y'all get in bed at a decent hour. Make sure you get in bed at a decent hour and make sure you get some boredom in. Okay? There we go. Boom. There we go. Have a good one.